Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, June 9th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of quick clarifications. Number one, the price that you see over here will be changing, and then the candlestick you see right there will be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, and I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one here, CVNA, an absolute monster move, not only from the price action standpoint, which has essentially gone straight up, but you look down here at the volume and just an epic amount of volume. So in other words, a lot of people are going to be watching this one headed into Friday. So let's get some levels mapped out here, both from the resistance standpoint and the support standpoint. So as far as resistance levels are concerned, pretty straightforward, nothing complicated. Literally just a question of where did the party finally stop today for the bulls? And that was right up there at $26.10. So 26.10 will be that key battleground for that reason and that reason alone. Again, that's just simply where the party finally stopped today. Although market is open for another 17 minutes. So who knows? Maybe you're watching this by the time it gets posted and the price is broken up through there. If that is the case, well, then that just tells you that the strength has not only maintained itself, but gotten that much stronger. But if the price is down below there, then 26.10 going to be that main battleground headed into Friday. As far as levels of support are concerned, if there is some sort of pullback, very interesting level right down here at 21.65. You can see that multiple times the price got down around that level, and the bulls did a good job holding strong there, which seems kind of far off, but that's kind of the catch-22. When you have big explosions like this, it can create spaces between areas of support. But all in all, anyway, look at it. Like I said, breakout players, keep an eye on that level, and if you like to play more so pullbacks, keep an eye down around that previous consolidation level. Next one, MIMO. So for you penny stock players out there, big day. Now, as I speak, though, the price has entered into this pullback channel, which is bearish. However, this is where things get into, well, what do you actually care about? Because if you care about the bigger picture point of view, you have to ask yourself the question, well, what was happening before this pullback here? And before this, you had this huge move like that, which is now giving me the ability to draw a bull flag pattern. Now, just because something's in a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go back upwards. But my point here is that it's not unreasonable to think that if the price can curl back up, get to the top part of that pattern, and then get a break up through, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure. Again, of course, not guaranteed to happen, but nobody could accuse you of being crazy to think that way. But as I speak, you can see that the pullback is seemingly continuing. But I do want to map out one area of support in case this thing does continue on down, with the next level being at 22 cents. And then in the case of very deep pullback, the next level, which I would call a must-hold level of support, down there, that purple line there, 50-period moving average, currently valued at 18 cents. Because if the price were to drop below there, I'm not saying this will occur, but if it were to come down here and drop below, what do you have at that point? You have the price having gone right back to where it started. In other words, the price spiked up and then went right back down, and that's where you start to enter into, just completely pump and dump territory. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, just explaining why that 18-cent mark is very important. Next one, PLTR, and all things considered, good solid day here. And what do I mean by that? Well, yesterday there was this big pullback. So at this point, it's one of those things where it becomes a very valid question. Is this the start of something much bigger to the downside? And as of now, it does not seem so. The bulls showed up very strongly this morning, pushed the price upwards, and then after that kind of got a little boring. However, that's where you got to look at things from the bigger picture point of view. Again, big move down. But that move up right there shows that there was not only still buyers, but enough buyers to get the price upwards. And then it's just consolidated out. So I'd still say there's more work that needs to be done, but things are definitely looking stronger than what they were yesterday. In terms of areas of resistance, if there is any sort of attempted bounce back to the upside, keep an eye on that 1565 mark. In terms of levels of support, let me squeeze this down. I want to get this. Now, there's that area down there, but I also want to get this trend line into play here because it's looking like it could potentially play a role in the future here if there is some sort of pullback to the downside. So put that a different color green just so we can make it stand out a little bit. So keep an eye on those couple levels of support if this thing does roll back over. But as of now, like I said, I would say today was very, very healthy for the simple reason of just how nasty it was on Wednesday. Next one, SOFI, and this just continues to grind higher and higher. And that's the name of the game, assuming you're long. So last time I did it, talked about that being an area of resistance, but it's been a few days since I've done this one, and you can see price got the break up through there, and is nothing explosive where the price just goes straight up. but still kind of a slow and steady grind with those higher highs and higher lows, so the trend remains fully intact. What I'm curious about moving forward is this trend line right here, for more so a resistance trend line, but you can see that that level, the price seems to really be respecting that general area right there. I mean, you go through the history of things and you can see multiple times right around that area, price has struggled. So if there is some sort of curl back upwards, that's where the question mark comes into play. Is the price going to get rejected? But the nice thing about that resistance line is it's got an upward slope to it. So technically speaking, it could never break above it. It could constantly always get rejected, but that would still mean the price is moving upwards because that line does have an upward slope to it. On the flip side of things, if this thing does decide it wants to pull back some, then first key level of support, more the near term there at 795. And the next key level after that, I consider more so an important level down there around 765, because you can see just many times the price been down there before and has held strong. But overall, like I said, the uptrend continues. Next one, AMC, and after a brutal opening portion of the day, first off, it gapped down, and then check out that opening 30 minutes. Huge red candle. But after that opening 30 minutes, you can see the price slammed on the brakes and up the price went. So a very impressive recovery, no doubt about it, when you consider just how things started. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that line. I think it served its purpose for now, because now once again goes back to what we talked about in yesterday's video. And as shocking as it is, that pink line seems to be back in play, that pink line being the 200 period moving average. And why that's so shocking is, at one point, remember, the price was all the way down here. So when the price was down here, to be thinking that pink line was relevant at all would have been, I'd say, very misplaced. It would have no relevance, but that's just how big of a bounce it was, because that bounce has brought that pink line to once again potentially being in play headed into Friday as that main area of resistance, current value of it, $4.77. In terms of levels of support, I think after today's price movement, it's now, revealed itself to have quite a few buyers down around this area right here at 453. Again, you see it here, this little zone, and then once again, that's right where the price decided to bounce from here. So if there is a deeper pullback, then I'd say 453, very important level of support that you'd want to see hold, assuming you're bullish. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here actually today in just a few hours. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency, manage risk, and thrive as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage. Now, a special note, it is a genuine live event. So if you already have something on your schedule tonight, I understand I have 5 kids, schedules get busy. Go ahead, send me an email. Or if you're watching this Friday morning and you completely missed it, again, go ahead, drop me an email, and I'd be happy to send you a replay of the event. All I ask is, because it's live, it's got to first happen, then I got to get it uploaded, and then at that point, I'll be able to send you a link. Now, if you can make it live, though, definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one, MGRX, and a pretty ugly looking chart here, no doubt about it, but for you longer time viewers, you know what I'm going to say next. There can be opportunity in the ugly, because yeah, it started off very nice and a very big pullback, but very deep, and it's looking ugly. But what's interesting is look how it's still respecting that purple line there, the 50 period simple moving average. Going back through the history, you can see right there, did a good job of just kind of staying above it, and then right there got a nice little bounce above it. So does that mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to continue to hold above that level? Of course not, no guarantees. But could somebody accuse you of doing something illogical or completely random to be interested to build a trade plan around that purple line? No, it makes good sense. That doesn't mean that it's going to work out. But like I said, nobody could accuse you of being a degenerate gambler that's just randomly doing things. So if you like these scenarios where you have strong starts and then you have a deep pullback that, yeah, does make this look a little bit ugly, there can still be opportunity there. If you like those sorts of scenarios, I definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, AFRM, and I think I did this one in yesterday's video. I might be lying about that, but I'm pretty sure I did, because I remember, I think, talking about how this one was ugly, and a classic example of how things are ugly. And then check that out. Got down to that journal area right there, and a beautiful bounce here. Almost a V-shaped recovery. So you got to think a lot of eyeballs will be watching this one on Friday with that key level of resistance. What I think a lot of people have done is drawn that trend line right there. Very straightforward, very simple. And I like those simple trend lines, because when something's simple, that means there's just that many more people watching. And when there are a lot of people watching, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. So no guarantees, but is it plausible to think that the price can push up through that trend line, that break could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario. And then as far as supports, nothing new here to report, for the very reason that we've already talked about, that purple line there, which is not the first time that's happened. Continue to watch that purple line as it slopes upwards. Current value of it, 1675. Next one, IDEX, good little penny stock, which same general idea. You got to think that a lot of people have drawn this level right up here at, we'll call it 6.5 cents. Let me move that up a bit more. There we go. So a lot of people watching that general area because whenever the price has gotten up around here, you can see that the momentum has just disappeared. However, if the price can curl itself back around, get up to that level and push up through it, guarantees, of course not. But to think that that break could create additional buying pressure, absolutely. So if you like to play those well-defined areas, you just like to play more so penny stocks. And when I say penny stocks, in this situation, a stock down below 10 cents, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one here, AMD, and this one reminds me a lot of PLTR, where yesterday, very nasty move, but today buyers came back in, pushed the price up, and then just went to consolidating. So as of now, it seems like that storm that showed up on Wednesday has been contained, but we'll map out a couple areas here, as definitely a very important level is going to be these lows. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this green line up because now they have more data. It really seems as that 116.50 mark is going to be an important level where you have support, and didn't quite hit it right there, but close enough support. And then for the bonus, you have that 200 period moving average, the pink line there sloping upwards, which is basically valued at the same line as that green. So if the price were to drop down here, I could see that being a very interesting risk reward scenario for people that are bullish on things. In terms of the levels of resistance, the level I'm curious about is that trend line right there, which puts the breakout point right up around the 124 mark. But all in all, like I said, like PLTR, a good solid move. It's just a question now, can it get it pushed back to the upside? Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe that the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to go up, this one will also go up. It just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it a very popular ETF. For those of you that watched yesterday's video, this should make more sense. And I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but I'm going to pat charts on the back and turn into a quick plug. Definitely get signed up for that free class, because for those of you that watched yesterday's video, hopefully remember me talking about that red line, and check it out. You just can't make this stuff up. The price this morning bounced and bounced and bounced, and then bounced some more. And look right where it finally rolled back over. Right there at that red line. Again, the power of charts, they're not perfect, but they're certainly a very valid tool to use. So like I said, get signed up for that free class. So more of the story here, key level of resistance going into tomorrow remains the same level. We just have confirmation now, 36.40, and then along with that, you can see that that purple line is actually also valued right at that level. So that's just kind of how things worked out. Moving average now valued right at that area. So 36.40, certainly public enemy number one. From an overarching standpoint, yeah, you have that level down there at 34.40, but more of a near-term standpoint as far as supports, keep an eye right there on that level, which sits at 35.70. So all in all, nice bounce today, nice recovery after the downwards pressure from Wednesday. So now all eyes on 36.40. Let's see if the bulls can push up through. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for the class. It'll be in just a couple hours, Thursday, June 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But also, like I said earlier, if you can't make it live for whatever reason, it will be recorded, and I'd be happy to email you a replay of it. So just send me an email to clay@claytrader.com. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Those two things communicate to me that you enjoy, and as long as I know you're enjoying as viewers, then I will continue to put in the required time and effort to get this content out to you. So like I said, hit that like button, leave a comment, tell me what you traded today, tell me what you're watching tomorrow, and go get signed up for that class or drop me an email.